Never mind. Okay. All right. The
You
camera.
should do it though, so he can get a picture.
Cameras. All right. Well, if it's all right with you guys, I'll start by making a couple statements, and then I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. Number one, obviously, we're really excited about it being signing day, and very, very grateful to the young people who've made a decision, them and their families, to come and play for us and come to Baylor University. I want to make sure that I thank the Texas High School Coaches Association and the coaches, the assistant coaches, the coaches of other sports, everyone in the offices, the guidance counselors, everyone that facilitates not just helping kids come to Baylor, but helping kids go to college and young people go to college and fulfill their dreams. So the THSCA came to college coaches a couple years ago and talked about straight line recruiting, and we're proud to say that we won't take anyone if they're not recommended by their high school coach, and that the high school coach for us is the primary source of contact and information as we go through this process, and no one does it better than the coaches here in Texas. And so we're very grateful to THSCA and proud to be a part of straight line recruiting. As I talk about coaches, I want to make sure that, on behalf of the entire football program, though, I also extend our condolences to Coach Hayden Fry's family. Obviously Coach Fry is before my time, but I'm someone that loves college football and I love coaches. And his impact on the game will be felt for years and years and years. As a player at Penn State, we played against those Iowa teams. As I said in the radio earlier, Tim Dwight ruined our dream of a national championship. But they were tough, hard-nosed teams, and you see the coaches that came out of Coach Fry's program, the Bob Stoops, Bill Snyder's, Dan McCarney's, Barry Alvarez, and many, many more. He was a developer of men, both players and coaches, and as an alum of here and a former person, football player, but also coach here, our condolences to him, but very grateful for the impact he had on this game. As we head to the weekend and we're getting ready for bowl prep, I want to make sure, though, that I also wish our women's volleyball team all the best in Pittsburgh. I mean, they're awesome. And we hope that they come back with a national championship. But at the same time, I also hope they come back with an amazing experience. And I've gotten to know a lot of the young ladies on that team. They come through the facility. They're in there getting treatment. They're training. And no one works harder than that group. And Coach McGuire has done a fantastic job, and so we want to make sure that we congratulate them. And so I probably had something else that I wanted to make sure I said, but I'm just very grateful to everyone that's helped us put this class together, everyone on campus, because it takes the whole campus to do this. And with that, I'll see what questions you guys have.
Yeah, it looks like your class is a little more oriented toward defense. Would you say that? Or?
Yeah. We knew that we were losing some guys on defense, right? Yeah. And this is really the first chance we've had to recruit to this new sort of 3-3 defense. And we have one more that we think will sign. He's traveling, and he's also a defensive player. So we knew we needed an infusion of speed. And we took a bunch of running backs and receivers last year, so we knew that was sort of the bent of this class. And I think now that we know how the defense sort of works and what we need. I think we found the right amount of guys to go play all those safety / linebacker positions, because it's not really this guy's this. I mean, we just need guys who can fly around and run and tackle and make plays. And so I think we found a bunch of guys that are 5'11" to 6'2" that run 4.4, 4.5. That'll be real difference makers in the secondary / linebacker positions.
How many did y'all sign today?
We have 11 so far.
11 so far, and how many? You're expecting at least one more?
I think we're going to get one more. I would say I think, because I don't want to be too disappointed if it doesn't happen. But we have a young man that's planning on signing with. He's just traveling internationally, so hopefully that'll get in as this plane lands.
Well, how many spots do you have, I guess, for February?
It'll be transient. Just as we kind of see some kids might not play anymore. Some kids might decide to graduate. But my goal's been I wanted to have about 5 spots in January. Last year we filled up, and then we had some spots available, and we kind of ran down where we didn't have enough room. And so, there were some other guys. We were in the mix for some other guys, and, kids have to make their decisions. But really, there's a group of kids in January that if I can go sign 3, 4, 5 more guys, I think that'll be the difference for us. Maybe not next year, but in the coming years after that.
When do you expect are you already feeling the impact of the season y'all have had, or is that going to be later down the road, do you think?
We certainly are feeling the impact of it. I think the true impact is, the 2021, those kids, they're juniors and they're coming up, and Baylor's, I mean, if you're a high school kid in the state of Texas right now, I mean, this season, Baylor's got to be in your list. The other schools are great too, but we're kind of past they're not going to be good anymore. So I think you're feeling it now. I think we'll really feel it in January some, but I think next year's class, we'll feel. But I'll say this, we have guys in this class that had a ton of options, and they've decided to come here, and we'll never change the way we recruit. We were going to recruit our way, and we believe in this group and think that they're going to be great students, great players, help us win a championship, but also there's a bunch of future pros in this group.
Just kind of a 30,000-foot view. Obviously, you never want to have to beg someone to come to a school, but how do you walk that line of going to get someone and knowing maybe when they're not going to be a fit for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to beg anyone because I think it's just not the right thing to do. I'm gonna present a plan to young people about what I'm going to see. When you beg them, you're telling them like, hey, we need you. You're basically telling them what they can do for you. And my goal is always tell them, hey, this is what I can do for you. This is my plan for you, because it's about them. And so we're going to recruit them, but there's promises made to kids that they go to schools. That's why so many kids are in the transfer portal. Go look at Baylor in the transfer portal right now. You ain't gonna see a lot of names.
Are there any names out there?
Not as of right now, right? We had a kid leave at the beginning of the season that's found places, and that's because we don't make promises we can't keep. And so that's not for everybody. Some people love to hear. They love to hear. Oh, it's this. Let me watch how many underclassmen come out for the draft this year and then don't get drafted. It's about 50%, I think, last year. Why is that? Because as they're going through that process, they are told so much, and so many people make promises to them, and we naturally all want to gravitate towards people who are telling us how great everything's going to be. I'd rather tell the truth and get the right guys and get guys who will grind through it. And we found a bunch of the right guys, and there are a bunch more out there in January. But that being said, I mean, we're going to recruit. We're just going to recruit really truthfully, because I can't say. People always say like, hey, recruit. Our program is about family. I hear coaches say that. I hear coaches say, we're about building men. Well, then you better be a man in the recruiting process and do what a man does, and that's only write checks that you can cash, and only tell people the truth. And so I think our coaches do a great job of that, and I think that's why it's worked so far over 3 years. I think it'll continue to work.
As far as positions, I know you want the best athlete available, but are there any positions of need that you'd like to fill?
I think we're at a pretty pretty whole at a lot of different areas. We'll always, with this new defense, always continue to try to sign defensive linemen, because, as you can see from our defensive success this year, when you have a great D line. But we're only going to sign difference makers. James Sylvester came in. We're really excited about him. I think he's going to be a great prospect on the defensive line. So if we sign anyone else on the defensive line, they're going to have to be someone that we think, hey, this guy can be an impact player for us, because we felt that we had 3 impact players on the D line this year, and I think that showed up in all these games. So that's the one area that if I can ever find one, we'll take. But you might sign another receiver. Probably just the best available at a couple different positions.
When the season started, and the season progressed, and y'all are having this fantastic year, did you recruit as much as you could, given what was going on with the season?
Oh yeah, we did the same thing this year as we've done every other year.
Okay.
It's just a smaller class. I know a couple people ask me about the ranking. You know better than me. Some of it's about how many guys you sign too. So I think signing 11 is perfect for us. We've signed a lot the last couple of years as we've tried to, we had to make up for this huge chasm in the roster. So we've done that. Well, a lot of kids here are happy and they're not leaving, which is great. So we kind of have a fuller roster. So we signed 11. We might sign between 3 and 5 more. It's just a small class, a small year. It's a small senior class next year. So, I think some other schools, if you have a lot of kids hitting the portal, you're going to have to sign a lot more guys. Or if you've had a lot of injuries, I think our team's coming back next year. So it's just a smaller group.
James Lynch is a consensus All-American, and tomorrow, depending on the list, he might be a unanimous All-American. It's the first in 4 years and the first for you here at Baylor. Just what's the significance of him earning that honor?
Well, I think it's great, obviously, for him. I'm very proud of him. I think it's great for the program. I think it's the result of his hard work, but a lot of other people's hard work. It's a result of all the, James will be the first guy to tell you, he couldn't do this without the guys on the field with him. So I hope that the Bravion Roys and all those guys look at it as a team award, but at the same time, it's a credit to James and the way he does things, And I always go back to the first year. We lost to TCU, and we were traveling coat and tie at the time, and I was getting on the bus. I said, "You can put your jogging suits if you want." And James Lynch went in there and put coat and tie on and got on the bus. He was going to do things our way, and so to see him have the success that he's had, it's awesome. But it's also not surprising because you take guys with great talent and great work ethic and character, and come from great families, and then you have a chance to do something really special. And he's done a lot of really special things so far.
Has Charlie been able to practice or do more since last Sunday?
He was at practice today, but he didn't practice. Not yet.
What is he allowed to do right now under protocols?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say this just because I don't want to say the wrong thing and get myself in trouble. But yeah, he's moved along. He's just not, he's not actually out there yet.
And when do y'all leave to go to New Orleans?
27th.
27th. Is there a timetable on him? He's got to practice before a certain date before he can play.
No, yeah. I mean, that would be, for me, if the doctors have their say, and then they do for each kid. Hey, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. For me, I mean, it would just come down to in the team's best interest and his best interest.
Matt, you guys focused again on Texas, as you have pretty much the whole time. What was it about the Kentucky guy, though, that y'all saw that y'all were in on, or was there a reason why y'all were earmarking him, I guess? Or?
Yeah, Devin's really, really fast, athletic, explosive kid, so he fits all of our height, weight, speed that we're always looking for. So he fits all the analytics, and then he's got great tape. And then you meet him, and you're like, he came to practice on Saturday, and the veterans weren't practicing. So, like, you don't have Chris Miller, you don't have Henry Black, you don't have Braylon Arnold. And he's sitting there with them. And, some recruits get on their phone, some recruits kind of, and he's out there, like, listening, right? And he's paying attention. So you've got this guy with great numbers that has a really good film, plays both ways in the film, and he's really serious about the game. So Coop found him. I got this elite group of guys who can evaluate, and led by Evan Cooper. And Evan, when Evan says a guy's going to be good, he's going to be good. Then Phil signs off on him. There's not much more for me to do. Right. But then I'm always looking for verification. It's not this saying, Russian saying, trust but verify. If you ever saw the movie Chernobyl, I stole it from the movie, but mini series,
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, all right, I hear what you guys say, but let me get around him, and I loved being around him. So I think he'll be a really good addition.
Well, you were talking about earlier, I guess last month, about what you look for in a recruit, and they have to be engaged in football and not on their phones and stuff at football practice. So what are the other stuff that?
And let me say this: there's kids that are engaged. I have to tell some of our coaches and support staff to put their phones away. So phones have invaded our lives, right? So I'm not saying that. It's just more like I had a recruit that signed with us today that who was on his phone, and I said, "Put your phone away." And I yelled at him at practice, like, "Put your phone away," and he was like, "Got it." Put his phone away, like, It's not. I don't make it like a hard and fast rule. It's just more like I want guys that like football, right? I want guys that talk about the game or talk about certain play. I like when I go on guys like Twitter pages and they're they're D linemen, they're retweeting like great pass rushes. I just know that because I love football. So we might not have we might listen to different music, we might come from different places, we might like different foods, but if you love football and I love football, then we have something really big in common. So it's more that. So I don't know for sure. I mean, you get to college, as we all know, we all got to college, and you go in different paths in your life, but it gives you at least a good chance of, hey, this guy. I mean, some kids like recruiting, some kids don't, but as long as you like football, I'm good with you.
Well, did your season open up any doors in December that might have been shut in September?
I don't know. I don't know that. I just think more than anything, like every other year, we've had guys start saying like, "Hey, coach, so-and-so just got hired," and they're calling me, and we've had to fight people off at the end, and these kids have all been like, "I'm in," I think you have guys, they're at the games. We only had 1 week to go out recruiting because of the championship game, and this double bye year like Jade Barron just signed with us today. It's a huge get. He's a great player. Highly recruited, highly ranked player, but also a great player. Came to our camp. Competed, and you don't get to go out and have as many visits with him as everybody else did. But we're sitting there, just beat Texas, and I come walking into the hallway, and there he is. I mean, what better recruiting thing is there than that, right? So I just think it kind of locked people in.
As the offensive line was obviously a struggle at points this season, but bringing in Mose Jeffrey, he'll be in January, I believe, early enrolling. What can he bring? Maybe the offensive line. He'll be one of the heaviest offensive linemen the moment he gets on here.
Yeah, we just need to continue with size, right? And I think the guys we have, we're playing with Connor's a Connor's a true sophomore. Khalil's a redshirt sophomore. Casey Phillips is a redshirt freshman. Jason Moore's, I guess, a redshirt sophomore. There's a lot of young kids out there playing, so I think they'll all develop a year. But I think bringing in Mose, but more than anything with Mose, he has a personality that's like the guys on the visit were like, we love this guy, like he's one of us. And then Gavin, here you have a big man who can, dunk a basketball every which way, that's athletic. Those are the things I look for. And he's got a mean streak. So I think they're going to bring the size, all that, but they also have a mind for being finishers and being tough. And that's what, if there's anything we need to do next year, it's we need to offensively have an edge about us that the defense built this year that we just need it up front. And it's hard when you're young, so we need some of our older guys. These guys grow; they've got to develop it.
I know you're not done yet, but as of now, you don't have a quarterback signee. Is that something you feel the need that you have to sign a guy every year, or what's your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I'd like to sign a guy every year, but I'm not gonna reach, and I'm not gonna. And it's hard, you have a redshirt freshman, Gary, who's played a bunch this year and had some really bright moments. You have a true a redshirting freshman that went out there and slung it in the Big 12 championship game. It's kind of hard to get people to say, hey, I want to be a part of that. But I'm looking for guys who are so competitive they don't care. If you come in and you play quarterback, then you want to commit to play quarterback for us, then you're a special kid, a competitor, and I want to get you in the program. So if we find the right kid, great. But if not, we'll just take a year off and take one next year. And you look at I don't want to live on transfers, but you look at if you get in a jam. But the three of the teams in the Final Four, they have a transfer quarterback. I mean, imagine if it's 10 years ago, what the college football playoff would look like this year. No disrespect to anybody. It's great. It's the way it is, and it probably should be this way. So, I feel really good about the quarterbacks we have, and so we'll if we get one, we're still recruiting some. So if one of those guys decides to come, I just feel like more kids made the decision to wait, and I was definitely okay with kids waiting. Because we have not had a chance to get out on the road a ton. So my thing with kids was, if you want to come sign now, but if not, watch us in the Sugar Bowl. Let me come out and see you in January, and let's go make a run at guys in January and to sign in February, knowing that we have a good team coming back. There's not like one area, as you asked earlier, there's not an area we definitely need. The guys we're going to get now, we're just looking for guys who can really make a difference either next year, but certainly in the years to come after that.
Matt, you mentioned Sylvester earlier. What does he bring?
Well, he's an athletic defensive end who's already 245, 250 pounds. So I think he's really going to grow. He comes from Newton, which has a culture of playing great football, and he has a toughness and an edge. And he signed today. And he called me. He said, "Talk to me, coach." He's got a little juice to him, which I like. And so I think he's gonna continue this run. We recruited really good players last year on the D line. Like the freshman D line class that we have right now is going to be special. And for him to come in now, I think he's right in the same ilk as those other guys, and so he'll only improve.
You talked about just the crush from the end of the championship game till now, trying to get these guys signed. But now as you transition into bowl prep, and how much are you looking forward to just this month with your team and getting ready to play in New Year's Six?
Yeah, and I say this. There's really no transition. It's just been like a rock heading down a hill. There's I got back from Austin recruiting Saturday night at maybe 11. I was in the office Friday morning, first thing, recruiting. We had official visits Friday, Saturday night. Sunday, we got done at 12:30, meeting with all the families. At 1 o'clock, I was on the practice field. 3:15, I'm off the practice field. I'm back upstairs because there's recruits that came back through, and I'm there until 5 when I went and saw my daughter's dance recital. And in Monday, and I'm in at 6:30 in the morning doing Georgia. So normally signing day is kind of the end, and I go home, and my wife and I go to dinner, and I'm going back to watch the practice tape. So, but it's fun. It's fun to be in the Sugar Bowl. It's fun to be in this game. It's fun to be in any bowl. And, we practiced this morning to see the development and growth, to be around the team. As I told the team, some of you guys are working your tails off right now to go beat this Georgia team that we're going to play. The rest of you guys are working your tails off to go beat Ole Miss, because we're going to play a really good Ole Miss team first game next year. So this is valuable time. But we'll do it till Saturday. We'll let them go Saturday, and then they'll have from Saturday till the 27th to be with their families. And that's one of the reasons why we recruit Texas so much. Some kids are going to fly off, and we love those kids. But I want kids that can, I want also a big group of kids that can drive home and be around their families and come back on the 27th, and we'll go to New Orleans, and we'll have a great time there and try to build our team and build our bond and brotherhood and all those things, and then come back on the 13th and start spring.
A guy who's
Last one.
highly rated at McWilliams, running back. What do you like about him?
Oh, I like everything about Tay. We went down and watched him after the West Virginia game that Friday night, and I watched him just running the football, and I kept texting our staff, we're not recruiting him hard enough. And guys would say, Coach, we did this. And I said, I don't care. Whatever we're doing, and we could be doing more than anyone else in the world, we're not recruiting him hard enough. He's a special, special, special player. And but he's also a special person, comes from a great family, and I think he's going to early enroll, so he'll be here this spring, and I think he'll give us another tremendous threat on the offensive side. So while we didn't sign a ton of those guys on offense, a guy like him, a guy like Seth Jones, the guy like Drake Dabney, I mean, we went and got a receiver, we went and got a tight end, we went and got a running back, we got some difference makers, and more escape me, but it's those guys. And then we have a bunch of guys that can play can play on both sides. AJ McCarty can be a defensive player, but he can also be an offensive player. So I think we got a lot of versatility, and a lot of guys that can help us.
Thank you, Matt.
Hey, thank you guys.
How many